like to talk about how we usually see disease and ailments, anything that is making the body in some way that hurts or that is uncomfortable, some kind of misalignment in the system. And a different way that I've been exploring of seeing ailments in the body. So the way that I was taught to see disease is that I did something, like physically I did something wrong. I spent too much time in the sun, I spent too much time in the cold, I shouldn't have taken that jump from so high up, so I twisted my ankle, or I fell in a weird way, so I broke my wrist, or I spent too much time around people who were sick, so I also got the flu. That there is no reason, that it's like, oh, I'm a victim, I'm a poor victim, and it was just bad luck that I had this, and now what I need to do is to find a solution to heal this quickly. So I would look for medicine, for pills to make the pain go away. So I want to share an example of something that happened recently to me, is that I was just at this amazing retreat called Ecstatic Awakening here in Spain, in south of Spain, which is where I'm now, by the way. Sitting on a hilltop. It's super hot out there, so I'm hiding here in the shade. And during the retreat, like it was a 7-day retreat, and on the 2nd or 3rd day I started having this weird allergy on my skin, and it got kind of bad. It was really itchy and some rashes on my arms and on my neck, and I stopped being so outwardly because I was really like, oh, I'm gonna go to the pool and I'm gonna do this and I'm gonna do that, and it kind of slowed me down. I was like, okay, I'm gonna take care a little bit more of myself. So then it got better, and then it got worse again, and it got really bad. Like the whole retreat I was so itchy. I sometimes would wake up in the night really like scratching myself, and the rashes were really bad and it looked really bad. My whole neck was red, and it's still kind of red, you can see it, but now it's drying out, so it's not that bad. But like to the touch it was really weird, and it just was super uncomfortable. And recently I've been hearing from different teachers, and especially exploring this since I'm following Bentinho, the idea that any physical ailment, no matter how it seems, no matter how bad luck it seems, even like breaking legs, all the way from just a simple flu to a cancer, is always a message. It's some kind of message for us to really look into our situation. And that how usually it appears is that first it's always some kind of misalignment. It's a misalignment with our truth. It's a misalignment with how we perceive the world, how we perceive ourselves, how we perceive reality. And it goes from very subtle to gross, like big, to manifest. So first, the misalignment starts energetically, in our energetic body. There's some kind of intuitive sense that the way we're living, the way we're perceiving, the way we're seeing our reality, our existence is not aligned with the truth. And if we are not sensitive to that, it will become an emotional misalignment. It will manifest in the emotional body. We will feel emotions that feel really bad. We will feel depressed. We will feel anxious. We will feel nervous. We will feel confused. It's this like the negative type of emotions that don't feel good. And that is, again, it's a sign for us to look into what are we believing is true that is not in alignment with our highest self, with the highest vision of who we truly are. And if we don't look into those emotions, then that misalignment will come into the body and it will manifest in some kind of ailment. And it can even be breaking a leg. It looks like it's an accident, but what if it's not? What if it's actually because we need such a strong signal of just like, stop whatever you're doing, stop what you're thinking, stop what you're believing, and just sit down and like look at your situation. Because this is what ailments do. They slow us down. They slow everything down. We cannot do the things we're doing anymore. We just have to be with ourselves. And often that being with ourselves brings about contemplation, brings about meditation, and we look into why we do the things we do. So in this situation, wow, the way I would usually look at it in the old way, right? It would be like, oh damn, like what the fuck? Like I'm in this retreat. I want to be healthy. I want to be glowing. I want to be beautiful. I want to enjoy myself. I want to be in the sun. I want to go swimming. I don't want to like be itching all the time. This is such bad luck. Did I spend too much time in the sun? Was it the chlorine in the pool, or was it the too many peaches that I ate? I just started thinking like something is off, and usually like discovering really what was it, if it was the peaches or the chlorine or the sun. I mean, it's a way to, yes, okay, maybe I should avoid eating so many peaches or maybe less sun, and I did, but eventually I started looking deeper and I started questioning myself. What if this is a message? If this is a message, what is it telling me? And damn, I discovered a lot. I discovered a lot. One was that I was struggling a lot with my body image during this retreat, and I was comparing myself to other women. I was competing a little bit. I was believing that my self-worth comes from how I look, and so a lot of my focus and a lot of negative thoughts were coming around my body. And I think this was like an evident outcome of those thoughts, and in a way also like a challenge for me to really accept my body the way it is, no matter how it looks like, even if it's itchy, even if it's red, even if it's full of rashes, even if it's just like really not pleasant to touch. Does my worth actually come from how I look? And that the experience of this allergy also brought to me a lot of my fears of that people might be repelled by me, that people might judge me, that I look disgusting, that nobody will want to connect to me, especially like more intimately, and that I'm not beautiful, that I'm not good enough. So I had this impulse to hide so many times in lunch breaks and even in sessions. I'm just like, I just don't want to be around people. I'm so afraid of being judged. I'm so afraid of like showing this part of myself. I just want to be beautiful. And then I asked for support in a few moments, and I shared with some people about this discomfort, and I gained some clarity with some of their reflections that, yeah, actually it's a lesson for me to learn to be with this, to not hide, and to actually fully show up in my full vulnerability and see that I'm still loved, that I'm still accepted, that I'm still welcome, and that I'm still beautiful and still attractive. And that people still love me, and that I was receiving attention, I was receiving support, I was receiving hugs and touch. And my storage keeps running out on my phone, so I keep deleting old videos. I hope I have enough to really get the message across. So I discovered that I can show up in my full vulnerability, that I can show up in full rawness and authenticity, even if I feel insecure, and that my worth does not come from how I look or what emotions I'm going through. And I use that lesson also to show up fully with my process and share with other people my fears, my insecurities, my needs, and fully be seen and fully be received. And it just created so much connection and so much intimacy and so much love. So that was one of the biggest lessons that I received from this allergy, which seemed like a curse in the beginning, but now actually I can see it for what it brought to me. It was a gift. It was a gift of me learning all these lessons, and it was a physical manifestation of a misalignment. And I think another big thing that it taught me was that I often wait too long until I ask for support. I had this intuition and desire to connect to some people of the group, and I wanted to ask, especially for example this one girl who I really liked her, and I wanted to ask her to just sit down with me and listen while I share something that was really alive in me, something I was going through. So I really wanted her support, but then I didn't ask for it because I thought, oh, there's not enough time, maybe she's busy and maybe she's just not in the space to do it. And this happened in many ways. And when I got the allergy, when it got really bad, I actually finally asked her for support. I was like, could you please sit with me? And in that moment I realized that I often think that I'm not worthy of asking for support unless something is really wrong with me, unless I have some type of ailment, some type of pain, physical pain. And this was really big. This was really big for me. Like, that I don't need to get sick in order to ask for support. I don't want to do it anymore. I've learned the lesson, and I want to listen to my intuition more and not get to a stage of where I'm sick and where I'm just like really suffering to finally feel like I deserve attention, like I deserve love and deserve support. That was a big one, really big one. So there's a lot of ways in which we can see disease. It brings a lot of messages just by itself. Sometimes where it appears, how it appears, how it makes us feel is a very good insight. Like for example, for me it was on my throat area and on my arms. It didn't appear on my belly or on my legs because that would be much easier to hide. It appeared on a place where I could very hardly hide it. And it's also, it doesn't make sense, like if you think that it appeared because of sweat or because of heat, and it appeared in places where I sweat. It didn't appear in my armpits, it didn't appear on the back of my throat where my hair creates a lot of sweat. It appeared in the front of my neck where people could see it. Also in the throat. So throat is the symbol for communication. Throat is a symbol for self-expression. So some type of ailment appearing here is also could be a sign of a blockage, that I wasn't sharing, that I wasn't expressing, that I wasn't being true in the way I use my self-expression. And the way this disease made me feel is that I wanted to hide, that I didn't want to be touched. I felt ugly, I felt disgusting, I felt itchy, I felt restless. And so a very good way to look into this is like, what if it's the other way around? Could it be that I was already judging myself as ugly, judging myself as think a motorbike is coming. So if I turn it around and see that maybe it was exactly those things that now this disease is making so evident, maybe it was that type of being, that type of state that actually created the disease. Maybe it was my thoughts of being not enough, of being ugly, of wanting to hide. This misalignment is what created this disease, so I could really look into it. Oh, and one more thing is that it often happens that once we start tapping into the core of the reason or the lesson that this disease carries, it starts to get better. It was actually so evident, and it was almost hard to believe that once I asked that girl to hold space for me and I started sharing a lot of my process, a lot of things that I needed support with, she literally told me that my neck was becoming less red, that once I approached her, that my neck was like really red and like a lot of energy here. And as I was releasing, as I was sharing with her, the allergy started calming down, and that's just incredible. It's insane. So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope this resonates with you. I hope it rings a bell. I hope that you can apply this in some way to your life and use this tool to see that actually there's no such thing as you being a victim, but everything that we experience in life is a sign, is a message, is a gift for us to learn, to grow, to expand, to really become who we truly are. I would love you to subscribe for more videos. I would love to share more things with you, and yes.